Good day, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today for the Access Virtual Security Exhibition. My name is Willem Coetzee, and I'm the founder and CEO of Remoteq ICT Solutions. And today we're going to talk about COVID-19 that calls for cyber hygiene. Prior to the coronavirus outbreak, organizations and governments were pushing extremely hard to get everybody connected onto the internet. Not far behind them were ICT industry that were pushing for the so-called digital transformation. That in itself has excelled a lot of the projects that were meant to connect people in the rural and remote areas. Not so long ago, we then were hit with COVID-19, and then all hell breaks loose. But maybe what we must do is we go through a brief overview of Remoteq ICT Solutions, and once we have an understanding of where this company comes from, we can then proceed to the business of the day. Trust it's okay. The company overview about Remoteq ICT Solutions is that Remoteq is a 100% Black-owned ICT company with a majority Black woman shareholding. The company commenced in 2016 and has got a prime focus on ICT, cybersecurity, and energy sector. Based on the partnerships that we recently signed on, Remoteq also now has included aerospace and defense into our portfolio. The company has not been visible and very active in South Africa for the mere fact that we have spent a lot of time and effort in order to make sure that we obtain exclusive agreements and arrangements with world-leading ICT and cybersecurity conglomerates, predominantly from South Korea. Remoteq also affiliates itself with the CSIR, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, with regards to cybersecurity and security surveillance. Now, that in itself put us in a strategic position to be the partner of choice for the SADC region when it comes to cybersecurity as well as surveillance systems. Furthermore, we partner with ETRI, who is like a sister company and doing exactly the same what the CSIR in South Africa is doing in South Korea. That in itself gives us the ability to swing between the two organizations in order to make sure that whatever we develop is fit for not only South Africa, but the SADC region at large. Why this partnership is important for us with Access is because Access is a very strategic partner in the sense that they are the more efficient leading distributor in SADC, and also they've got a well-established footprint which give us a reach into the rest of the SADC region. Now, let's get into the business of the day. COVID-19 calls for cyber hygiene. And a lot of people would ask and say, but what is this cyber hygiene? Well, it is similar to personal hygiene. If people want to maintain their health and their status, they would take precautionary measures in order to stay healthy. Similar to that, is that when COVID-19 hit us, everybody now that tries the push for digital transformation now are forced, especially organizations, to allow their employees to work from home. Guess what? It's not only work from home, it's actually work from anywhere. And that is what gives us a bit of a headache at the moment as organizations, because nobody knows really who shared those pieces at the internet cafes, and if the Wi-Fi that they connect to on the road are really secured or not. And as a result, because of COVID-19 pushing all organizations to allow and provide infrastructure for employees to work from home or from anywhere, as I said, the problem now is that you expose your organization to new security risk, some even unwittingly. So even now that the coronavirus start to slowing down, The problem still is that after this, post-COVID-19, it will be the new normal to work from home, to work outside the office, but also to be productivity driven. And that for itself means that it can't be business as usual. Now, what is cyber hygiene and what does it entail? Well, cyber hygiene aims to keep data organized and secure from the theft of hackers and cyber attacks. That is the main purpose of cyber hygiene. And also to make sure that you patch and you maintain hardware and software. So cyber hygiene basically is a practice, cybersecurity practice, to maintain and making sure that your software and hardware is always fully patched, has got no vulnerabilities if possible, and also to make sure that there is no congestions on your network. Let's look at the importance of cyber hygiene. Why is it so important to have this? Well, if you've got cyber hygiene, then it means you need to create a routine, and which is nice because it means that at a regular basis, certain people has got certain roles. You assign cyber professionals to conduct certain studies and also to make sure that they double check whatever has been put in place in order to provide adequate security. Secondly, penetration testing and vulnerability assessments is extremely important because how can you protect something that you don't know it exists or it is out there? Hence, you need vulnerability and penetration testing to be done before you even throw any product at the problem. Vulnerability assessments also giving you the ability to detect what is unmatched and what was not there prior to your appointment or when you get the exposure or the promotion to that cybersecurity position. Online patch management is also crucial because it needs to happen online and on time. Now, not a lot of us has got patch management processes and procedures in place, and that creates another backdoor for hackers to compromise on the vulnerabilities, especially with regards to software and hardware. And as I said, it is very important that we have a patch management solution in place that makes sure that we stay healthy within our network and all the vulnerabilities are patched. Software upgrades is another hurdle. A lot of us enables more our operating system like our Microsofts and them, for instance, upgrades to happen automatically. But how many of us has really went on a regular basis through all our software and applications on our computers and making sure that they are updated and that the software is not vulnerable? Sometimes, some of our employees may even try to download some applications to play around, and I found that in the security space as well, where people download and want to see what's going on the network and see whether they can get access to servers or machines, only to find, yes, it's free, but it comes at a price, because within those free software, there is malicious software embedded into it that actually at the end of the day, having you downloading it, meaning you open up the back doors to hackers. And not all of us are aware of it. Security awareness culture. Security awareness is extremely important and is something that all organizations should start with. The fact that a lot of organizations regard their cyber experts, their technical engineers, and all these cyber gurus as more important as the front desk people or your general workers, that in itself poses a serious challenge today to a lot of organizations. Because how would I know not to click on a link if nobody has warned me or educate me about it? That's why security importance is something that all organizations should implement as a culture, but also expose all the employees to that so that they know exactly what links to click, where to go, and to which emails to respond. And then read the news. If you go to Google, for instance, or any search engine, and you go around and just read up on the news on the internet about South Africa, about Africa for that matter, you will realize that even South Africa has now reached the top 8 spot when it comes to cyber attacks. We have recently had our Transnet, we had our, I think, Accenture, and all these other guys that got compromised. And the reason for that is that there is no proper routine practices with regards to cyber hygiene. It's extremely important. Transnet, as I said, has been hacked. Now, what is actually more scary is the fact that once organizations get hacked, our analyst has actually done a research, and they've also come up with the findings and a conclusion that it takes about anything between 6 to 9 months for hackers to lay the foundation for threat vectors in order to launch ransomware within an organization. What does it mean? It means that after you've been hacked, already those people have been in your internal network for almost half a year, if not more. Now, having the organization closed down or the parameter discontinued from the internet is really not solving the problem. That's just my humble opinion. Because if they've been in there all along, it means that they have made sure that they've downloaded some software, and they've also made sure that they've got vectors in there that they can activate at any given point in time. So maybe the guys that currently got hacked and exposed to these cyber threats shouldn't just relax yet, because who knows what's going to happen next. Let's look at the avoidance. What happens when you neglect cyber hygiene? What happens if you don't do it? Like a lot of us just talking it down or avoid doing it. Well, first thing, the hackers will find a backdoor, because you have no plan of updating your software. You're not really plugging any holes with regards to your hardware. And guess what? You're not doing any penetration testing or vulnerability assessment, because as most of, or some organizations may argue, this is just a waste of money and time. Well, if you don't do it, then hackers will be quick to find the back door. And they normally just need that one point of entrance into your network. Websites are hacked or defaced. We have an argument today that says, well, my websites are not hosted with my company. It is hosted with it is outsourced with a third-party vendor, or the information on my website is in the public domain in any case. So I've got nothing to lose. Guess what? When a hacker takes down your website, or when it defaces it and put all these bad pictures and publicity onto that website, it is caused what we call reputational damage to your organization. How can anybody trust you as a client with their information if it seems like you as an organization cannot take care of your own information? So it's extremely important to make sure that your websites are up to date, fully protected, and malicious software free, in order for your brand and your image to be out there and well respected. Another point I want to make is the escalation of privileges. When you neglect cyber hygiene, if you don't care how vulnerable your internal network are because you seem to trust all your employees, once a hacker gets access, once a similar cyber attack got triggered into your network, hackers has now got the ability to come in as a normal user on your endpoint, and then assign himself some privileges once he gets onto your Active Directory. Once they get into your servers, they then initiate connections to all devices on your network. And before you open your eyes, they've got software and ransomware deployed all over your organization. Ransomware attacks, the most favorite one of all, is increasingly daily in all organizations. Because now everybody wants to do something while they're in lockdown and frustrated, sitting around not having anything to do. So they're trying all sorts of things, including hackers that would, for the fun of it, because believe me, others get a kick out of it. But also you find those that do it for monetary gain. They will come and hack into your network, they get your personal data and information, they put it out in the dark web, and then they also sometimes held you ransom and want a specific amount to be paid into their account, but you've got no guarantee that they will give you access to your records again after you have paid it. So from where I'm sitting, Remoteq believes that no one should pay a ransom to any hacker because there is just no guarantee. Rather make sure that you have cyber hygiene in place, and that will save you a lot of trouble. Most technologies has a vulnerability. That is our personal experience, and that is something that is of great concern, because this time people look at the challenges that they have, especially when it comes to technology within the ICT and cyber space, and then they want to throw technology at the problem. But guess what? Before you understand what the vulnerabilities are within the technologies, you're actually opening up a can of worms. So what are the benefits? The benefits of hygiene stems from two main things, which is security and maintenance. Security, to have your security in place, you need your penetration testing, like I said, your vulnerability assessments, and your website. Your website needs to stay intact, and also your data leakage shouldn't be even a discussion at the end of the day. That's how well one should look after their data. In actual fact, now with new legislation with POPI and that, GDPR overseas, it is actually for us now mandatory to look at protecting their data. Maintenance, making sure we've got patch management in place, we create policies, and we do what we need to do best. How we do it with Access? In closing, Remoteq partnered with Access in bringing world-leading products and solutions to not only South Africa, but to the SADC region at large. And that is our SIM solution that's based on AI and machine learning. So you get a SIM solution that actually collects all your logs within your network, consolidate it, correlate it, and then give it to you in graphical or text format. We also has got on penetration testing a product, Pentoma. Pentoma is an automatic penetration testing solutions that also will make sure that your parameter is secure as well as your internal network. We got a solution, Web Server Safeguard, and which is a web server protection suite that makes sure that your web server is always protected and secure. We also has got the ability to design, to build, and to operate security operation centers, not only in South Africa, but across the globe. So we would like to invite you all in getting in contact with us when it comes to cyber hygiene. Thank you so much.